Once again, everybody, thank you and welcome back. It is really an honor for us to go ahead and be able to put this event on for you this evening, but we wanted to make sure that we did it right and we got the messages. And unfortunately, Facebook took it upon themselves to go ahead and try to block our stream, but they weren't going to go ahead and stop what's taking place this evening. So we went and rebooted everything. So now everybody in Facebook land will be able to pick this up, and YouTube, we're going to go ahead and keep this show going. With all of that being said, now it's time to get to one of my favorite parts of what this show is, what this whole event is all about. Now we're about to go ahead and recognize not only Black excellence, but African-American excellence. I'm talking about Pontiac excellence. I'm talking about the best of the best. These are people that have done it tirelessly over a multitude of years. And now they're sitting over here on this evening about to get recognized, not only by some of their peers, but also by all of you out here in the community of Pontiac. These are the people that we should be absolutely grateful and thankful for everything they would have given us over these years. The sacrifices, the blood, sweat, and tears, the anguish. When you saw some of them in your classroom, you saw some out in the streets as activists. You saw some of them over on the boardroom level when you're talking about political. And now we get a chance to go ahead and make sure that those people are going to be recognized to the fullest this evening. So with that being said, with these awards, what we wanted to go ahead and do is not only acknowledge the people that are alive, that are still doing dynamic work, but we also wanted to go ahead and make sure we name these awards after people that were true Pontiac legends who transitioned on. So from a posthumous standpoint, it's only right that we go ahead and pay honor to those who paved the ways for even the ones that are going to even be receiving the awards. So with that being said, we're going to go to our first category, which is music. And it is without the greatest of honor that I get a chance to go ahead and welcome somebody. Welcome a family from Pontiac that did so much and meant so much to the world of jazz. And I'm talking about none other than the Jones brothers. First person that I have the honor of speaking to would be Hank Jones. And it's absolutely rare that a family would have three brothers that would go on to make such a significant impact on the jazz music world. And we are referencing, without a shadow of a doubt, the Jones brothers from Pontiac, Michigan, our Pontiac, Michigan. The first one I want to go ahead and talk to you about is Hank Jones. And all three of the brothers, which you got to give homage to. We're going to go ahead and give homage. Hank and Thad Jones are who we're naming the awards after, but I will be remiss if I didn't go ahead and speak to the fact of the drummer extraordinaire, Mr. Elvin Jones, too, who also shares this actual duty and honor. But with Mr. Jones, he was so great at what it is he did that he ended up becoming known as the godfather of all jazz pianists. And, and over the 75-year career, we talking about, Mr. Hank Jones, who performed and recorded with the likes of Benny Goodman, Coleman Hawkins, Ella Fitzgerald, Charlie Parker, Cannonball Adderley. And he also recorded over 60 albums, 60 recordings that he was able to go ahead and release and give to the world. And also with that push and plight, he also had the opportunity to go ahead and play with the one and only Frank Sinatra on the Ed Sullivan Show, and also Marilyn Monroe on her famous Happy Birthday, Mr. President. But even more so than that, the honor goes to the Grammys, where Hank Jones was able to go ahead and receive a 2009 Lifetime Achievement Award, a Grammy, for his service and all of his contributions to the world of jazz. So it is without a pleasure and honor that we honor Mr. Hank Jones, but also can't do that without honoring his brother Thaddeus Jones, a jazz trumpeter, a composer, a band leader, who was called one of the all-time greatest jazz trumpet soloists of all time. He's a self-taught musician right here in the walls of Pontiac, where he served in also the U.S. Army in World War II. But he's also, after his military service, he came back to America, and he ended up joining the Count Basie Orchestra, where he made 24 arrangements and compositions for them. Then he went on to go ahead and join Duke Ellington Orchestra and also play with Thelonious Monk. These are absolute monsters in the field of jazz. And with all that, with all his contributions, he was able in 1978 to go ahead and receive a Grammy Award for the love that he's put into that actual instrument and he gave to the world. So as Jones ended up returning, he also, at the passing of Count Basie, he also took over leadership of the Count Basie Orchestra. And so, at the point of its demise. So with that being said, you see the type of people that are coming from Pontiac, and some of you didn't even know these individuals' names, but you know now. So with that being said, I need you to put your hand together for two true Pontiac legends. So with that being put on the table, it is my honor to go ahead and bring to you a man who's given so much to the community of Pontiac. I'm talking about Mr. Clifford Sykes. Clifford Sykes is a graduate of Lincoln University, and that is a HBCU. He also went on to receive his master's degree at the University of Wisconsin, and additionally a PhD work at the University of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where he did PhD work. He is also a professional musician, a teacher, an actor on stage and screen, and having performed in major movies and theatrical performances. Mr. Sykes has earned international educator status, having received fellowship from Global Teachers Institute and Teach with Africa to teach in South Africa. As a board member of the Consortium of International Management Policy and Development, Mr. Sykes has traveled to several countries in Africa and Europe, both performing and giving lectures. After building a successful music program at Kettering High School in Detroit, he brought his talents up to Pontiac, where he served at Madison Junior High School. He also went to Washington Junior High School and then Jefferson Middle School to go ahead and share his gifts. Subsequently, Mr. Sykes was transferred to Pontiac Central High School in the fall of 1986. And during his more than 30 years of service as a Pontiac educator, he has taught thousands of students at the elementary, middle, and high school levels. He has also served as music department head. It was also under his direction at Pontiac Central that the concert, symphonic, jazz, and marching bands were always available to serve the community whenever requested. Under his direction, Mr. Sykes continued to drive and inspire his students with the motto, "The best become the best by working harder than the rest." With all that being said, let's make sure we understand the magnitude of how deep Mr. Sykes' leadership goes. It was with that direction at Pontiac Central bands routinely traveled to and participated in programs and competitions at historical Black colleges and universities, such as Alabama State, Central State University, Hampton University, and Tennessee State in Nashville. Although formally retired in 2014 from Pontiac, Mr. Sykes is still highly regarded as a teacher, a mentor, a father figure to many of us former students. Mr. Sykes was selected as an executive director of the New Beginnings Community Co-op, Hope City's project that will build affordable homes and families in Nigeria and West Africa. It is without further ado that we take this opportunity to go ahead and pay homage and honor to the man himself, Mr. Clifford Sykes.
Well, I would like to take this opportunity to give my most humble gratitude and thanks to the Ascend Foundation, to Kano and all of your staff and committee members who chose to select me for this honor. And there's not been one day in the almost 40 years that I did not want to go to work, because I love music, love my career, love teaching. And it's the most amazing thing when young people come into your classroom and don't know one end of a clarinet from the other. And inside of 4 or 5 months, they're actually playing a concert. It's an amazing transformation that we get to see. And I'm sure it's the same thing in other areas and other academic routines. But I am truly honored, grateful, thankful, and certainly to be awarded with this particular group of awardees. Certainly Mrs. Phillips, one of my colleagues at Pontiac Central all of those years, Judge Walker and Dr. King, Maddie Hatchett. This is and of course, someone who also taught me some things about music, the great Quincy Stewart. So I am truly honored to be in this group of awardees. I'm humbled. I thank you for considering me. And you know, that my living has not been in vain. Thank you. God bless you all. I look forward to seeing all of you and receiving your awards.
Ladies and gentlemen, could you please put your hands to the man himself, Mr. Clifford Sykes. Thank you, living legend. our next legend that we have the honor of introducing and presenting and representing to you, because this man has been everywhere. I mean, we want to talk about someone who gives his heart, body, and soul to a community, not only from a music standpoint, but from an activist standpoint. Yeah, I'm talking about none other than the man himself, Mr. Quincy Stewart III. Put your hands together. Quincy Stewart is a graduate of Pontiac Public Schools. He attended Franklin Elementary, Lincoln, Washington Junior High School, and graduated from Pontiac Central High School in 1976. Mr. Stewart is the proud father of 4 sons and has been married for 35 years. Mr. Stewart attended Grand Valley State University, Oakland Community College, and Oakland University, earning degrees in social work, as well as instrumental and general music education, and holds a teaching certificate from the state of Michigan. Mr. Stewart presently teaches at Harper Woods Middle School, teaching concert band, choir, jazz band, and African American history. He was also taught band at Detroit Central High School, Pontiac Academy of Excellence, and Detroit Academy of Arts and Sciences, and began his teaching career at Pontiac Edison. Quincy's unique teaching style has been featured nationally on PBS Black Journal and several teaching journals. Mr. Stewart has many facets to his life and career as a jazz musician. Having played many venues in America and in Europe, he has opened for acts such as the Isley Brothers, Howard Hewitt, Count Basie Orchestra, Donald Byrd, Isaac Hayes, Wayman Tisdale, Stanley Clark, Billy Cobham, Spyro Gyro, Najee, and Larry Carlton and Stanley Jordan, just to name a few. Quincy has recorded 2 albums, with the third one to be released in July 2021. He continues to perform in and around the Detroit area. He was recorded and performed with artists Damani Phillips, Keith Bubby Webb, the late Charles Anthony, the Oakland University Symphony Orchestra, Oakland Jazz Band, Ben Fields Big Band, and played throughout the Midwest with his own jazz band, the Ujima Jazz Ensemble. Besides music and education, Quincy is also an author. He has written over 500 articles in the Citizens Post and the Pontiac News, Oakland Press, and on social media. He has often spoken and played at several prisons in Michigan. Mr. Stewart is also a longtime community activist. He has regularly spoken at city council meetings for the last 23 years on behalf of the Pontiac community. He has organized events for senior citizens, led protests, created and organized community education programs for youth, organized the Crestwood and Astorwood Book Club, conducted urban gardening projects throughout the city, and even taught agricultural classes in the formal lakeside homes. Ladies and gentlemen, with all that being said, for your approval, I want you to put your hands together as we honor Mr. Quincy Stewart.
Thank you, Kano. Can y'all hear me? Everybody, you can hear me? Okay, great. To Kano and the Ascend Foundation, and to the other honorees, dignitaries that are here, I want to first give honor to my freedom fighting ancestors who gave all and sacrificed all for all of us to be sitting here. And there are too many to mention, right down to our grandmother, my dear, all of our my dears, all of our great grandmothers, all of the ones who quilted, all of the ones who made a way out of no way. Those are the people that we honor today. And I'm humbled to even be considered for an award such as this when you consider so many great musicians before and after me who were so gifted and talented, far more than I. And I will try my best to live up to your unqualified accolades so kindly bestowed on me to this day. When we consider Hank Thad and Elvin Jones from Bagley Street to the world stage, these 3, along with Dangerous Dan Turner, Ronnie McNear, and so many others, we see how rich Pontiac has been and is in musical talent. Between educating students, my community activism, practicing, performing, composing, writing articles, and the other activities in my life, there is little time to stop and consider nor benchmark any accomplishments I have made in my life. This award forces me to consider 2 things. One is that over the 63 years of my life, which just happened Friday, I have made some contributions to the town that I love And more importantly, that the place, the place I will come home, that I call home, has shown me some love. And for that, I am eternally grateful. Also, I would like to honor the following people because I think it's important. The late Ubada McConnor, Bubby Hatchett, Joe Gamble, Charles Anthony, Joe Thurman, Stanley Jeter, Billy Wayne Cowart, Hooker Borders, Marcus Cummings, Junior Johnson, Ronnie Gentry, and last but not least, George Glazier, for showing me what a trumpet should be like up close. And with that, I want to thank, oh, and by the way, the Jones brothers were all three graduates of Pontiac Central High School, not Northern, but Pontiac Central High School. Yes, and I am doing a little set tripping right here. Pontiac Central High School. And also came through Washington Juniors High School. As a matter of fact, Elvin Jones really encountered his great drumming technique. He learned it at Washington Junior High School from a teacher there. So with that, I thank you so much for this honor, and I hope to live up to your expectations. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put it together one more time for Mr. Quincy Stewart, a true Pontiac legend. Yes, and Quincy, and yes, you were set tripping, Pontiac Northern for life. I'm very sure you got my back with that, right, Miss King? But with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next award. Listen, this award is named after two actual legends in the liturgical field. You know, two legendary members of the clergy that gave their heart, body, and soul not only to the pulpit, but also to the community as a whole. And so this next award is going to be named after Reverend Eddie A. McDonald and Elder Willie Elam, Liturgical Trailblazer Award. When we started talking about Pastor Eddie McDonald Sr., Friendship Missionary Baptist Church in Pontiac, for many years, Pastor McDonald was known as one of the most respected and influential leaders in the city of Pontiac, not only from a cloth standpoint, but also from a service standpoint, from a complexion of the community of Pontiac. And in 1966, Pastor McDonald began a street ministry to go ahead and push the word of the gospel. And then from there, he ended up pushing on and became the pastor of Friendship Missionary Baptist Church and held the position up until his untimely passing. Pastor McDonald's influence extended not only in the church, but the community as well. He was affiliated with a number of professional and charitable organizations, including Pontiac Citizens Coalition, Lighthouse of Oakland County, and the Pontiac Youth Assistance Program. Pastor McDonald also served as president of the Oakland County Ministerial Fellowship. And if you want to go ahead and get a good idea of the type of impact this man gave to this world, I need you to go ahead and not look too much further than his children. Look at Sandy McDonald, look at Eddie McDonald, look at Pastor Derek McDonald, and look at the impact they've made, not only on this community as a whole, but this world in general. And then you get a good idea of the type of man that Pastor Eddie McDonald truly was. And that's a true Pontiac legend. Put your hands together for Pastor Eddie McDonald. The last person that holds that shares the name with this particular award is going to be Pastor Willie Elam Sr. You know, Willie Elam Sr. retired as a pastor of Christ Temple Apostolic Church. And if you ever wanted to go ahead and find this man, you can find him for 55 years of service where he gave on South Paddock Street every Sunday morning, where you can go ahead and find this man giving, not only from inside of the actual church, but outside in the community with a multitude of community service initiatives where he gave his heart, body, and soul. And he was also the first one to go ahead and do a live telecast for the world to go ahead and talk about the power of community and also talk about the power of trying to make sure the gospel got out to everyone. And the gospel did so much more than just speaking words. It was also about living in that capacity. So with his service, he was able to go and also give you 15 years of service on the school board of Pontiac. So without further ado, I need you to put your hands together one more time for Pastor William Elam Sr. With that being put on the table, now we get a chance to go ahead and meet our honorees. The first person that I get a chance and the privilege of bringing to you is a man who is always out in the community giving you a heart, body, and soul. We're talking about none other than the man himself, Pastor James H. Keys. Reverend James H. Keys is married to the former Dorothy Cobb. They have been married for 50 years. He and his wife Dorothy have been blessed with 6 children, 21 grandchildren, and 7 great-grandchildren. Reverend Keys received his associate's degree in 1986 from S.K. Williams School of Theology in Detroit. And then he received his cosmetology license from Florida A&M in Tallahassee, Florida. And I find out something new about you every day, Pastor Keys. He received a certificate in advanced television communications and programming with Comcast Television in Waterford, Michigan, and hosted the Jerry Lewis Telethon for 3 consecutive years. He also received an officer training degree from Schoolcraft College in Livonia, Michigan. Reverend Keys is one of the founding members of Monument of Faith Missionary Baptist Church in 1979. Reverend Keys became a pastor of Monument of Faith Missionary Baptist Church in 1981, 2 years later. He now serves as the vice president of the Wolverine State Convention and serves in the National Baptist Convention of USA. Reverend Keys serves on many boards and agencies throughout Oakland County and Wayne County. He has served on the executive board of the Lighthouse in Pontiac, Michigan. He has received numerous awards, citations, and proclamations for community service. He demonstrates that a strong leader must first be a humble leader. He was on the board for the Detroit Downtown Development Authority in Pontiac, Michigan for 13 years. He is also known as an advocate for troubled kids. He worked with other community organizations and schools such as Pontiac High School, Pontiac Academy of Excellence, and Habitat for Humanity, and so many more. In 2013, a program was established to help empower women throughout education and the services that they are available to bring awareness of what resources are available to them. For the last 6 years, Pastor Keys and the church has helped over 200 women reach their greatest potential. He received the National Award for World Egyptian Rights Masons for community service and the Gideon Award for Outstanding Response to Service. Reverend Keys also received the Judge William Waterman Courage and Leadership Award for the North Oakland County NAACP. Reverend Keys is committed to helping his community to fulfill its greatest potential. He is known as a community pastor because he loves his people. He is very energetic and without a shadow of a doubt, always forever prepared to assist anyone who is in need of a helping hand. Without further ado, and for your approval, I present to you Reverend Pastor James H. Keys. Put your hands together.
Okay, Keno, make me cry. Make me cry. Listen, I'm so humble. I was listening at those past TRAILBLAZERS, and then took me back from Florida when we worked for a sharecropper who didn't share the crop, and came up here to Pontiac and doing the bus bun, and I was able to take care of Bill Waterman and his family. When I look around and see all the troubled kids that's in our world today, I'm just humbled to even be thought about. Listen, just for 1 minute. I've learned down through the years. The Lord have blessed me. You can't correct that which you're not willing to confront. And certainly we have seen a lot of problems that need to be.
Pastor Keys, we lost you. Okay, everyone. We're gonna go ahead and give Pastor Keys the time for him to go ahead and okay, there we go. We got you.
Okay. But I want to say thank you. And Congress, we see you in Washington. We want to say to you, we certainly appreciate all you. Let me do this, and I'm going to let y'all go. I always say this: be grateful always, and say thank you. Be kind and always extend a helping hand for someone who have fallen. Don't judge others that we don't look like us, because they have not walked in their shoes. When it all seems lost, just remember to have faith, because miracles happens today. When life is unfair, just turn the page and keep on pushing. because I've learned that life is not about things. Only love can lift us up. Finally, I'd like to say, remember to never more than you can give. Finally, I want to say to you today, thanks again. And my goal is to make a life and make a living. But most important, I want to make sure to make a difference. So I thank you all so much for everything that you've done. And I promise you, I will do my best to certify and to earn this great award that I have. I got it. So thanks a lot for the Congress and to Brendan, to all of y'all. Be blessed and God bless y'all.
Appreciate you, Pastor Keys. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together one more time for Pastor Keys. Next, we got a man who's always, if you want to go ahead and see what a true servant looks like, you don't have to look too much further than this man I'm about to go ahead and bring to the computer screen. We're talking about a man who's been doing it for a multitude of years. And so it is with the biggest and greatest privilege and honor that I present to you, Bishop William H. Murphy, Jr. Day by day and by the grace of God, William H. Murphy, Jr. walks the path of his God-given mandate of reclaiming the church, the house of prayer. Bishop Murphy has been serving with New Mount Moriah International Church family located in Pontiac, Michigan for 30 plus years. In this role, he has been responsible for and or organizing various prayer vigils, citywide prayer meetings, weekly intercessory prayer sessions, local, regional, and national prayer workshops and conferences, all the while intensely striving toward the mark of his God-given assignment. The magnitude of this call is evidenced by the impression that has been made on an interracial, multicultural, international audience of many who have never met him through his interactive prayer recordings. The Daily Bread, Could You Not Pray With Me 1 Hour, War Cry, Harp and Bowl Intercession, which have been purchased as far as Japan, Germany, Africa, England, and the Bahamas, and his latest release, Fire. Some have been introduced to him through his books, How to Flow in a Powerful Prayer Meeting, Walking in a Victorious Prayer Life, 5 Traits of an Effective Intercessor, 100 Declarations That Will Change Your Destiny. When you pray, say Our Father, the Harp and Bowl Ministry, and the Law of Intercession. He serves as a member of the Executive Council and Bishop of the Intercessory Prayer of the Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship International under the auspices of Bishop Joseph W. Walker III, which has led to his travel throughout the United States and abroad to develop and train corporate prayer teams. He is blessed to have his family in ministry with him, his wife, Elder Donna Murphy, daughters, Brittany and Jasmine, his sons, Bishop William H. Murphy III and Pastor DeJuan Murphy, ministers in Atlanta and California, respectively. Without further ado, and for your approval, I present to you the man himself, Bishop William H. Murphy Jr. Put your hands together, please.
God bless you, Kano. And we are certainly honored today to be one of the recipients of this great and I believe prestigious award. And of course, we want to give honor and thanks to all of the dignitaries that have joined us today, and so many that I know and that are close to my heart. I'm grateful to just be able to stand with them today, especially those who are being honored. Amen. It is a great privilege. Amen. I'm excited even the more. I never planned, amen, to minister in Pontiac, Michigan. Amen. But my father, who started New Mount Moriah Church in Pontiac for another pastor, actually sent me after a year that the other pastor had kind of got in some trouble. People needed somebody to take over. He said he would send me for 6 months until they found a pastor at New Mount Moriah. And of course, during the first month that I was there, they decided that I would be the pastor of New Mount Moriah International. And of course, here I am, 30 years later, amen, doing what we do. And so after 30 years, amen, it's an honor and a great privilege to be honored with my Pontiac brothers and sisters. And I have to admit, amen, that in many ways, amen, although we've labored extensively here in the Pontiac area, amen, I've actually felt almost in many ways like an outsider, amen. But today, Brother Phillips, I feel like I'm a part of Pontiac for real. Amen. And so, amen, it took 30 years, but I'm grateful for you, amen, for including me as a part of, amen, the legends of Pontiac. It's a great honor. And I tell you, I'm going to be talking about this for many, many days and weeks and years to come, because it is a great privilege. So thank you so much. Know this, that I'm committed to the Pontiac area. I'm committed to doing my best. I promised our church 30 years ago that I would not be an embarrassment to them. And I say to you today that I'm going to keep that promise still. I won't be an embarrassment to the city of Pontiac. God bless you. Thank you so much for including me in the legends of Pontiac, Michigan. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the man himself. And I told you, energy personified, and the man that give you every drop of himself, Bishop William Murphy Jr.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bishop. Next, we get a chance to go to the educational field, and this one is kind of close and dear to my heart and soul because of not only the two recipients, but also the two individuals that this award is named after. The name of the award is called the Miss Joanne Battle Elois Williams Educational Trailblazer Award. And if you went to Pontiac Northern, you know firsthand what this woman meant to so many people in that English hallway corridor. You know, there was kind of a daily walk between, you know, Mrs. Battle, Mrs. King. You had to throw a little sprinkle, a little Miss Petway up in there, and you put a little bit of Miss Williams up in there, and put a little bit of Miss Sykes in there. And woo, you better go ahead and make sure you had your mind right and your game together before you walked up there. But that being said, this award is named after a young lady by the name of Miss Joanne Battle. She matriculated to Tuskegee University Institute, that's right, another HBCU product, and graduated with her Bachelor of Science degree in secondary education in 1969. She later earned her master's degree from the University of Michigan. She was offered a job in Pontiac School District, where she began a 39-year tenure, which included 32 as an English teacher, and the rest of them was served as an assistant principal and 4 years as a principal. This is where she spent her beloved Pontiac, where she spent her time at her beloved Pontiac Northern High School. That's right, Quincy, Pontiac Northern High School. So the home of the Huskies. Over the years, Miss Battle received honors too numerous to list, but in detail, some of which included recognition from Oakland County, the city of Pontiac, Pontiac School District, and the state of Michigan, the Boy Scouts of America as well. And she was also a member of Welcome Missionary Baptist Church, where she prided herself with that membership there. And also the Heroines of Jericho, Queen of Sheba, Chapter 15, and Order of the Eastern Stars, the Phenomenal Red Hatters, and also her dear beloved membership to the Sisterhood of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Without further ado, like I said, please put your hands together for the memory of Miss Joanne Battle. And next we have a woman who gave her heart, body, and soul, and talking about living in your purpose before she departed this earth. We're talking about a woman by the name of Miss Elois Williams. She was Pontiac's first African-American female attorney. And so as opposed to staying in that world, she decided she wanted to go ahead and give to children. So she forfeited all of that and brought it into the schools, and she gave it to you. And because of her, the reason why we have a civics program is because of that woman. The reason why you have so many kids that were educated about their civic duty and the life and trials and tribulations of politics is because of the early education that this woman gave to so many children. And some of that even trickled down to me, and I will forever be honored and grateful for this woman's existence. I am talking about none other than Miss Elois Williams. Please put your hands together. That being said, our first honoree is a woman who is an absolute educational legend. We're talking about none other than Miss Dorothy King. Miss Dorothy King was born in Wilmington, North Carolina, and she is an only child. Both parents are deceased. But Miss King graduated from North Carolina Central University with a bachelor's degree. And after she arrived in Pontiac, she received her master's and postmaster's from Oakland University. She was certified in the Female Administrative Pool Project. Miss King came to Pontiac in 1969 and started in Pontiac school system as an English teacher. She was noted for her ability to teach the students how to write and speak. She spent 29 years in the classroom and as a teacher and department chair at Pontiac Northern. 10 years were spent at the district level, meet test coordinator, and Pontiac and program evaluator. When she came to Pontiac in 1969 as a new teacher, she was required to attend a new teacher meeting, and in it was there with that by chance she sat in the same table as Mr. Jimmy King. And go figure, he acquired her address and went to visit. And you know what happened after that? They were married in 1971 on May 28th, and they celebrated 47 years of marriage. Miss King is active in many organizations. She is a charter member of Lambda Rho Zeta chapter, and she also, which is chartered in 1983 as a Lambda Rho Zeta member. She also held every office except for president. She is a Diamond Life member and the first founder society centennial visionary of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. She is also a member of the following organization: Delta Kappa Gamma Honor Society International, Queen of Sheba Chapter 17 Order of Eastern Stars, Golden Opportunity Senior Citizens Club Life member. And Miss King is a member of Newman AME Church. Reverend Alfred E. Johnson, pastor at Newman. She is noted for her presentations on topics from the Bible. In addition to her job as a teacher, she was the official scorekeeper of Pontiac Northern High School basketball team for 32 years and a video technician for the football team. Over the years, she has been known for making jewelry and pottery. Miss King is called on to lead workshops and make presentations. She also makes inspirational cards that can be sent in letters or cards. She always includes an inspirational card in her communications. Currently, she is the president of Lots of Dots. She has received many honors and recognition, noting a few: Who's Who in American Education, Who's Who Among American Teachers, members of Michigan Department of Education, Standard Setting Committee Reading, and Special Excellence Award. Ms. King does not like the spotlight, as she gave it to me with both barrels as I tried to get her to go ahead and do this, and I'm grateful to you, Mrs. King. So the work that she has done for Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated is known nationally. Lambda Rho Zeta is indebted to her for the direction and spiritual advice that she has provided since they were chartered. The presentation that she has done are too numerous to list, and I will mention two that had a large impact locally and nationally: Getting Your House in Order and Zetas Helping Other People Excel. She lives by the motto: you be a giver, you can't receive God's blessings with a closed hand. Without further ado, I give it to you for your approval and with the greatest of honor. Please put your hands together for Mrs. Dorothy King.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the Ascend Foundation for this honor. And when asked to be an honoree, I thought, why me? And to Quincy Stewart, I'd like to say that when you build a house, sometimes you have to make improvements. So after Pontiac Central, the improvement was called Pontiac Northern. Just a side note. I don't belong to this august group being honored today, and I had to think about what makes a legend or a trailblazer. One thing that makes a legend or a trailblazer is that we stayed in Pontiac. We did not run away when things got tough, and we built, all of us, put some planks in the platform that's called Pontiac. And secondly, whether it is in music, education, religion, or the political arena, we have one thread that runs through all of us. And that thread is, and I quote, "I won't take no for an answer." Now, this truism is one that says, even though someone sometimes said no to us, as a trailblazer, we did not take no for an answer. Again, I'd like to thank the Ascend Foundation for including me as one of the first Pontiac legends and trailblazers for 40 years in the Pontiac School District. And even though I am happily retired, I still will not take no for an answer.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we lost Miss King, but listen, you heard her words, as powerful as ever. I mean, it's as powerful as she was when I was back in, I'm not going to say 80 something. You know, I'm talking about 89 and a half, because I'm not going to tell you my real age, but however, I will say this woman gave her heart, body, and love to so many children. And because of all of that is the reason why we're walking around here truly educated and able to go ahead and go off to the levels of education that we were able to achieve. So ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together one more time for the legend herself, Mrs. Dorothy King. And for this next honor, I would like to go ahead and pass this on to the woman who is a big part of the reason why this program is taking place today. That would be State Representative Brenda Carter. You're on mute. Representative Carter, you're on mute.
There we go. Can you hear me?
You can, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, once again, thank you, Kano, and thank you for this tremendous honor you have given me. I have the opportunity and the pleasure of introducing Miss Lorene Phillips. Miss Lorene Phillips, raised in Pontiac from an early age, was married to Clarence E. Phillips, former city councilman, city council president, mayor of Pontiac, and state legislator for 42 years until his death. They have two sons, Kano and Damani. After attending city schools and graduating from Pontiac Central High School, she earned a BA from Western Michigan in secondary education with majors in English and speech communication, a master's from Oakland University in English, and completed all coursework for a doctorate in English from Wayne State University. Throughout the course of her career, she received several awards of recognition for outstanding proficiency in education. Who's Who in American Education, 6 years, Secondary Teacher of the Year for Pontiac Schools, nominee for Disney Teacher of the Year, FIRST Robotics, National First Robotics Team Chairman's Award, and First Team Hall of Fame team sponsor, as well as Lifetime Educator Award from the Pontiac School District for teaching English and speech to thousands of secondary students before becoming a curriculum administrator. As a K-12 Central Office Administrator, she directed numerous programs: English, World Language, Social Studies, Science, Supervision of Reading Specialists, Media Specialists, District Coordination of NCAA Clearinghouse, Advanced Placement, Credit Recovery, Supervision of Education Technology Integration at the district level, Currently, she is a state of Michigan content coach working to support literacy instruction at the elementary, middle, and high school levels. Her community affiliation included memberships of the Pontiac Library Advisory Commission, Pontiac Japan Sister City Club, Pontiac Center Reunion Committee, Pontiac Recreation League, and spotted for the announcer with the high school football program. She and her husband spent all of their adult life promoting a strong, productive community and adamantly advocating for the education and advancement of youth. This commitment was the basis for the development of the original community fund initiated by Lorene and Clarence, which provided assistance to those in the community in need, support of programs for youth, and scholarships for Pontiac students. It is indeed my high honor to introduce to everyone Miss Lorene Phillips.
I thank you, Representative Carter. I thank the organizations who put together this. Like so many of the recipients, you shake your head and you wonder, why me? You don't understand why anyone would give you an award for doing something that you love to do. And I loved to teach. I loved what I taught, English, and I'm not going to go the Central Northern route because I have to live with Northern students here. I loved what I taught, and I loved the students I taught. It made every difference in the world. I am the link. Can I put it this way? I am the link, one of those links in Pontiac, because I grew up in Pontiac. I attended the Pontiac schools. I am a product of the Pontiac schools, proud. Pontiac schools, finished school at Western, came back to Pontiac schools, and have been here for my whole career. So I have had many of the students who have gone through. I have felt a real commitment to provide for them what I knew they needed. Sometimes they didn't appreciate all that I did, but I knew what they needed. Number one, they needed the content. We're the English people. They needed to read and they needed to write and they needed to be able to critically think to make it out in the world. And the second thing that I wanted to ensure that they took with them, that they needed, the belief that there is nothing that they cannot do. Don't let someone tell you what you are, what you can do, what you can't do. You learn that anything can be done as long as the process, you create a process that goes with it. And I don't think any of my students, I see some of them every now and then. Mr. Sykes, I did work with you. Quincy, I did. You were a student in the school when I was there. I worked with Battle, worked with Dorothy King. Boy, we seem old, don't we? We've been around for a while, but I worked with almost everyone on the panel. And I know, and you know, that our job with kids was to make sure that you left something of yourself with them, that you might have made some difference in their lives. That was the whole purpose of it. And I hope I did. I hope I had something to say to them that someone heard. And I appreciate the recognition. I'm not a big person on recognition, but I thank the organizations who put this together. And I thank my students.
Yeah.
The ones who made the whole process worthwhile.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Without further ado, I want you to please put your hands together for educator extraordinaire, Miss Lorene Phillips. Also, too, we had Miss King back. I'm going to go ahead and let you finish off your speech because you had us going too, and then it cut you off. So please, we're in the business of making sure our legends get a chance to say everything they want to go ahead and say.
Well, I don't know where I stopped. However, the salient point that I want to make about all of us on this panel, in case you did not hear it before, is the common thread that none of us would take no for an answer. And whether in music, in religion, in the classroom, in politics, someone sometime told us no. But a real trailblazer would not take no for an answer.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not a trailblazer because I spent 40 years in the Pontiac School District, but I thank all of my students, and I thank the Ascend Foundation for recognizing that some of us still will not take no for an answer. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up one more time for both of the recipients of the Joanne Battle and Lois Williams Educational Trailblazer Award, Miss Dorothy King and Miss Lorraine Phillips. That being said, this next award is named after someone who was absolute political trailblazer. This man was the very first one that we had that actually served not only as a county commissioner, but then went on to Lansing and served for a multitude of years. If I'm correct, I believe it's about 16 years he served in the State House of Representatives before they started putting term limitations in place. And then he brought it back home to become the mayor of the city of the great city of Pontiac, all the way up into the point where he transitioned on. And his years of service was second to none. He gave his heart, body, and soul, not only politically, but also to his community and to his fellow men and women that walked through the same neighborhoods that he walked through. So without further ado, this award that we're going to go ahead and put out next to our next two recipients is named the Charles Harrison Jr. Political Trailblazer Award. So with that being said, I love my life right now because this woman means the world to me. And for me to have the honor this evening to go ahead and be able to pass this around and witness this firsthand with a front row seat is second to none. And I am grateful and gracious for the opportunity. This award goes to the Honorable Chief Judge Cynthia Walker. Judge Cynthia Thomas Walker is one of 4 judges at the 50th District Court in Pontiac, where she has served since 2003. She was appointed as Chief Judge in January 2010 and continues to serve in that capacity. Prior to taking the bench, Judge Walker served as Court Administrator of the 50th District Court, City Attorney for the City of Pontiac, and as a Staff Attorney for the UAW Legal Services for the Legal Services of Eastern Michigan. She was named the 2015 Judge of the Year by the Michigan District Judges Association for a commitment to access to justice, community outreach, education, and public service. Judge Walker has been a member of the Oakland County Bar Association for many years and currently serves on its board of directors. She has served as a chair and vice chair of the OCBA Diversity and District Court Committees, was a speaker for the OCBA Youth Law Conference, and has actively participated in a number of the other OCBA projects, including the training video for new attorneys and the speed networking program. In addition to her stint at the Oakland County Bar Association and the activities there, Judge Walker serves on the Michigan Judicial Institute Academic Advisory Committee and has been an instructor for the last 3 sessions of the MJI's New Judges Seminar. She is a member of the Oakland County District Judges Association, the Association of Black Judges of Michigan, and the De Augustus Stracker Bar Association, where she formerly served as the Stracker membership chair. She has also served as a state bar of Michigan Membership Services Committee. Judge Walker previously volunteered as a judge for the Michigan Center for Civic Education High School Mock Trial Tournament. Taking her dedication to public service seriously, Judge Walker is a frequent speaker at local schools and churches on topics such as truancy, consequences of impulsive behaviors, and decision-making. She is a former board member of the Women's Officials Network, Kiwanis Club of Pontiac, and Haven, and has served on the Domestic Violence Advisory Council for Central Multicultural La Familia. Judge Walker is also an avid supporter of the Oakland County Veterans Group and considers it a great honor to have been a past recipient of the American Legion Americanism Award. Judge Walker is a Chicago native who moved to Michigan immediately after graduation from Valparaiso University Law School. She has one son who is a recent graduate of Michigan State University. And some of the awards that this young lady has received is Oakland County Board Association 2016 Professionalism Award, the National Congress of Black Women 2016 Women of Distinction and Leadership Award, Michigan District Judge Association 2015 Judge of the Year, Legal Aid and Defender 2015 Friends of Lad Award, 2014 Distinguished Public Service Award, 2014 H. Wallace Parker Award given by the NAACP for Preservation of Justice, the Women's Official Network Wonder Woman Award in 2014, Haven 2010 Appreciation Award, and the list goes on and on. This woman is absolutely amazing, and I am so honored to say that she is a Pontiac product and giving you a multitude of years of service. So without further ado, I ask you to put your hands together in honor for the one and the only Chief Judge Cynthia Walker.
Thank you, Kano. You know, it is humbling to be just in this group because there's so many people here who have touched me in really unique ways. I'm really just a worker bee. That's all I am. But I am a little girl from the south side of Chicago. And to follow up on what Bishop Murphy said, you know, for a while, I felt Pontiac is my home now. And I have been here for more than 30 years. But full disclosure, I married into Pontiac. I married a proud graduate of Pontiac Central. He played football. He and most of the starters on the Pontiac Northern team were recruited to Carthage College. And that's where I met all of them. You could do a whole separate segment on what they have done with their lives since graduating from Pontiac schools. It's much to be proud of. But, you know, I'm here. I'm standing on the shoulders of so many people, including Judge Christopher Brown, who will be coming shortly. And his support and mentorship I have always appreciated. It was Charlie Harrison Jr. who gave me an opportunity to really stretch what I thought I could do when he allowed me to be the city attorney for Pontiac, and I so appreciate that. And just bringing it full circle when we talk about people who have been mentors in our lives, you know, our former mayor, council president, state representative, Clarence Phillips, was someone who I considered a mentor and a friend and was full of advice and supported a really, yes, you can do this spirit, and I appreciate him. You know, I think about my roots, my Jamaican grandmother, who really taught me that I needed to honor my mother and father and that God would bless me, and he sure has. You know, I'm grateful to my parents who pushed for a quality education, both in class and out. And I'm just grateful to have had the opportunity here in the city of Pontiac to become part of this community. I love this city, and just the dynamic individuals that have come out of the city is just amazing to me. You know, I don't tend to see that. In Chicago, when I grew up, the city is so large, you see pockets of neighborhoods, but Pontiac has something that has just touched my heart. And I do, you know, really appreciate all of you for your support over the years. I really just want to thank the Ascend Foundation for all that you do for young people. And I have to tell you, the goal that I have going forward, past couple of years, I've really been focusing on my parents, and they needed that, and I'm grateful to them. But there's so much that needs to happen with our young people. We have to make them want these positions, and we have to make these positions available and attainable to them. And that's something that, I plan to continue trying to do. So all of those little lawyers and judges who may be watching, I'll be coming to tap you on the shoulder, because we have to make these positions available to them. We really do. So thank you to Ascend and all the sponsoring organizations. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, can you please put your hand together to absolute legal royalty, Miss Chief Judge Cynthia Walker. And next we have a man that is, you want to talk about the definition of a trailblazer. Here is the man that you want to go ahead and lay your eyes on. This is a man who gave so much to this community from a multitude of angles. And it's also an honor for me that he is also one of my neighbors. So I know if somebody come up in here and I acted right, I know with the judge, I know he got my back at all times. So with that being said, our next recipient of the Charles Harrison Political Trailblazer Award goes to none other than Judge Christopher C. Brown. Judge Brown has lived his entire life in Pontiac, Michigan. His parents were Arthur Brown Sr. and Ardelia Christopher Brown. He is a product of Pontiac's public school district and attended Bagley Elementary School, Washington Junior High, and graduated from Pontiac Senior High School in 1956. After graduating, Quincy, I see you. After graduating from Wayne State University with a Bachelor of Arts degree in 1962, he enrolled in law school. He obtained a Juris Doctorate from Detroit College of Law in 1966. Further study in graduate law was done at Wayne State University. After passing the bar examination in June 1966, he became an associate of attorney Leon Hubbard from 1966 to 1968. Subsequently, he was a partner in the prestigious law firm of Hatchett, Brown, Waterman, and Campbell from September 1968 through December 1972. And if anybody out there young is watching, you need to go ahead and do a little research on that law firm to understand the magnitude of the cases that this law firm took on, especially when it started coming to civil rights here in the community of Pontiac. Okay. Then history was made when he was sworn in as a judge of the 50th District Court in Pontiac, Michigan in January 1973. He was the first Black person elected in the capacity in Oakland County. For the next 16 years, he was the only minority judge in Oakland County. That's trailblazing. In his judicial capacity, he has been a visiting judge in other district courts, Recorder's Court for the City of Detroit and Wayne County Circuit Court. He has been admitted to practice before the courts of the state of Michigan, Tax Court of the United States, U.S. District Court, U.S. Court of Appeals, and the U.S. Supreme Court. Additionally, further history was made when he was reelected to his sixth consecutive six-year term as a judge of the 50th District Court in November of 2002. He retired in February 2004 after serving for 31 years on the bench. Judge Brown has been a life member of the National Bar Association since 1984 and a member of the Judicial Council of the National Bar Association since 1973. He's also a member of the National Bar Institute. Additionally, he holds a membership in the Wolverine Bar Association and the D. Augustus Stryker Bar Association, both affiliates of the National Bar Association as well. Since his admission to the bar in 1966, Judge Brown has been a mentor to virtually all minority attorneys who have practiced in this community of Pontiac, Michigan. He is a life member of the NAACP and has garnered awards too numerous to name. He was initiated into the Pontiac alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated in October of 1990. Judge Brown and his late wife, Jean, are the parents of a daughter, Alicia Bailey, and a son, Tice Christopher. He is also the grandfather of Christopher, Eugene, Ardelia, Lillian, Joseph Arthur, and Haley Lillian. Recently in January, this is something he wanted to make sure everybody out there listen to and hear. Recently, in January and February of 2021, Judge Brown and his companion, Ruth Ann Jordan, and her mother, Alice Thompson, 96 years blessed, former president for several years of the Bowen Center, Citizen Center, completed the coronavirus vaccinations, and they hope this encourages all others in our community to attain theirs. Without further ado, and it's with the greatest and privilege and honor that I present to you the one, the only, the true walking, living legend, Judge Chris Brown.
Well, thank you so much, Keno. You've taken my speech. Everything that I was going to say, you've already said it.
Yes.
But first, let me say that I'm sharing this celebration with my companion at her home with her mother. That's Ruth Ann Jordan and her mother, Alice Thompson, who is 96 years old and a former president of the Bowen Senior Citizens Center. And she's still active and involved. Again, I was first elected to public office in June of 1968 to the Pontiac Board of Education. I was the third Black after Reverend J. Allen Parker and Dr. Robert Turpin. And it was the first time two Blacks served together. That's Dr. Turpin and myself. Now, it has already been stated that in November 1972, I was elected judge of the 50th District Court. And for the next 16 years, I was the first and only Black judge in Oakland County. I retired in 2004, February, after having served 31 years. But during my legal career, I participated in trying to right some wrongs in our community, particularly in the areas of school desegregation, real estate desegregation, and equal employment opportunities in the city of Pontiac, particularly in the police and fire department, and also in the courts. When I came into the court system, there was one Black employee, and she was a clerk. And afterwards, I'd been there for a while, and there were 4 judges, and they were hiring employees. And I made it a point to say that, well, every 4th employee to be hired, I'm gonna hire them. And we got some minorities in the court, as is evidenced by today. I am also thankful to be present today to accept this award, particularly in light of the fact that I'm 82 years old, and many of my peers and associates and friends have gone to their reward. So this is particularly poignant to me to be here to accept this award. I'd also like to thank those who were responsible for honoring me with this award. And also to reiterate that during my time on the bench, I tried to be fair, honest, and hardworking. And I tried to be a mentor to all those who came after me. And again, I want to express my sincere thanks and appreciation to all those responsible for me receiving this award. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, I ask all of you out there to put your hands together for the one and only Judge Chris Brown. That being said, next we want to go ahead and move along because we want to be respectful of everyone's time, and we thank all of you for your patience for the hiccup that Facebook decided to go ahead and throw us this afternoon. But we came back and our viewers are strong, so thank all of you for that too as well. But that being the case, now we're going to go ahead and come to our activist category, which is named after a true Pontiac legend, and that would be Reverend Milton Henry. And ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Milton Henry. After you hear what I'm about to tell you, you really gonna understand. Reverend Milton Henry, he passed away at 87 as a true civil rights lawyer and activist. Reverend Milton Henry, as a civil rights lawyer, he was sought to go ahead and create a provisional government of former slave states. Henry was a pallbearer at the 1965 funeral of Malcolm X and was the first vice president of the Republic of New Africa. He went on to Philadelphia, where he graduated from historically Black institution Lincoln University in 1947 and earned a degree of law from Yale University in 1950. He was a Pontiac commissioner from 1954 to 1960 and was a member of the Tuskegee Airmen during World War II with the late Coleman Young, Detroit's first African-American mayor. And this is a Pontiac product, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. So with all that being put on the table, it is with the greatest of honor that we call to the computer screen our next award winner. And this is a man who's been giving it to you on not only from an office standpoint, because he's one of the most gifted dentists you're going to be able to ever find. And he's a Pontiac product, but also too, from a service standpoint. The work he's done with children over the years has been absolutely amazing. And that's what it's all about. That's how you go ahead and give back to a community to make sure we have a healthier community dynamic. So without further ado, I want you to put your hands together for Dr. Bruce Edward Turpin. Dr. Turpin was born in Pontiac, Michigan, and he went to Pontiac schools. Graduated from Pontiac Central in 1967. Obtained a BA in psychology in 1972 from Morehouse College, dental degree from the University of Michigan in 1980, from the University of Michigan. But in 1980, he got married to Miss Carol Yvonne Myers / Turpin for 43 years and raised 4 children. His 4 children have a total of 7 degrees and 6 grandchildren who are also members of, and he's also a member of Trinity Missionary Baptist Church. He found professional satisfaction at various times for his involvement with several organizations upon returning to Pontiac to live and practice dentistry. The American Cancer Society, the board of the Pontiac Area Urban League, former board member of the Optimist Club of Pontiac, former board member of the Lighthouse of Oakland County, Community Development, former board chair of Michigan Association for Leadership Development, former board chair and current board member of Pontiac Youth Assistance, former chairperson of Pontiac Planning Commission, former secretary of the Pontiac Charter Commission, former board member of the Lighthouse of Oakland County, and professionally, the American Dental Association, the Michigan Dental Association, Oakland County Dental Society, immediate past member of the University of Michigan Dental School Board of Governors, and he works there presently. Private practice since 1980 in Pontiac, and the practice was started by his father in 1947, and he grabbed the baton and kept going. Currently, he is employed by Oakland Primary Health Services as a dentist. Without further ado, it is the greatest of honor I get a chance to introduce to you the man himself, Dr. Bruce Turpin. Put your hands together.
All right. Wow. It's exciting being at the end of the list, but there's a lot of stories that I've heard that I'm very proud of all the people on this panel. I'm also very thankful to the Synod Foundation for their recognition. I'm kind of like, maybe I need to get busy to get an award like this, particularly named after Milton Henry. Milton Henry, of course, is a legend in Pontiac that probably many people don't really realize what it was that he contributed to this community. Or the spirit that he brought to this community. And during those times back in the day, when we wanted to have representation for the Black community, we had put all our votes behind one person. And that was the legacy of those days when Milton Henry served, is that you didn't put him up against anybody else running. It was just the one brother that was going to run for the office, and they were going to represent what it was that we needed to have represented. And when my father was on the school board, we had rocks thrown through the window. There were some trying times, and here we stand today, and we still have trying times. We will always have trying times, and it's thankful for the Synod Foundation and what it's doing to address trying times of the day. And no matter what the time is, there will always be challenges to be met. There is a constant pursuit of excellence that we have to always pursue. And I'm thankful for having the opportunity to sit here and listen to these stories and what they mean for this community. Kano's spirit is like unbelievable. When I first started practice, we used to support the little baseball team that Clarence Phillips was handling, and I think Kano was on that team. I don't remember him personally as a baseball player, but I understand he enjoys the sport, and I'd like to say that I was a part of developing that spirit. But anyway, thank you to the Center Foundation and all it is that they do. Keep on carrying on. Nothing is ever finished. The work is always there in front of us, and all these people here represent what that's all about. And just thanks a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hand together for the man himself, Dr. Bruce Turpin. I want to go ahead and say this for everybody. We gratefully and graciously appreciate you giving us the honor of being able to recognize you. But I will be remiss if I didn't go ahead and put emphasis on the fact that there's 3 organizations that really put it on the line to go ahead and make sure this is going to come into play. Representative Brenda Carter, before I even pass this on to the next phase, I just want to go ahead and let you know how much you are so appreciated. You and HBO Maxey sat up there and y'all really wanted to go ahead and make sure that the community of Pontiac was going to have a Black History program in the void of so many programs falling through the cracks because of the COVID-19 dynamic we're dealing with. And to watch you all rally together to go ahead and help make this help make this event be exactly what it is tonight. I mean, not only do I thank you, but I think the community of Pontiac owes you a thanks. So I'm asking everybody, please, on this panel, to please put your hands together for Mr. H. Bill Maxey and State Representative Brenda Carter. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass this on for a special presentation to our State Representative. State Representative Brenda Carter, the floor is yours.
And I thank you, Kano. And once again, congratulations to all the awardees. H. Bill Maxey, Kano Phillips, and I, we sat back and we thought about everyone. And of course, this is not the only one we're going to have. We did not have the time or resources to recognize all the great people in Pontiac, but stay tuned. I'm sure another one's going to come next year. Now, but a special recognition, okay, because Oakland County Commissioner Emeritus Mattie Hatchett brought out some of the key points of U.S. Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence, and I hope she's still here because I want to just present a special award to Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence. As being the first woman to represent House District 29, not the first Black woman, but the first woman to represent House District 29, and to be in the House of Representatives April 30th, when it was surrounded by people with AR-15s and swastikas and nooses, I know exactly how Congresswoman Lawrence felt and her colleagues felt on January 6th with the insurrection. I knew the deep fear that they must have felt because we only had a 3-inch door in Lansing, keeping the group of people that was on the other side of the door out of the chambers. And I say this to say about Congresswoman Lawrence, because I first met her when she was the mayor of Southfield. And I was impressed with her being the mayor, also running for county exec, and then also lieutenant governor. But when she became our Congresswoman, I had the opportunity to go to DC on several occasions when I was the president of Michigan Association of School Boards and meet with the congressional representatives about our education system. I got an opportunity to see Congresswoman Lawrence in action. She's in a place, in a venue where she's vastly outnumbered, not only by gender, but by race. But yet and still, as Dr. King said, give me a minute. She mentioned that you don't stop going. You keep pushing through. You don't stop because you run into something hard. Congresswoman Lawrence had all the reasons in the world to say, hey, this is enough. Just like the rest of us who were in the House of Representatives. You know, the day that we had our little thing up there, April 30th, they specifically was after a group of people because the little black painted faces only looked like one group of people that was in Lansing, okay? So this special tribute award that I'm giving to Congresswoman Lawrence, and I have it right here, Congresswoman, I sure hope you're still there. This is because you—
I am here.
Oh, wow, thank you. Because you really inspire me. You really do. You know, I call you anytime and you'll pick up the phone. In fact, when I called you and said, Congresswoman, would you please come and say some words to the residents of Pontiac for Black History, you did not even hesitate. And I know your schedule's busy because mine is busy. The work we put into this project took a lot of time and a lot of resources, but I know your schedule is extremely busy. And it's that kind of inspiration that I feel that we need to pass on to future generations. Anybody can get a title. Anybody can get a title. But if you are willing to do the work, are you willing to stare down the face of AR-15s? Are you willing to deal with threats? Are you willing to do the work that our ancestors did to get us where we are to do what we're doing now? So Congresswoman Lawrence, Soror Lawrence, namesake Lawrence, you need to know that you inspire me. And when my days get really hard up there in Lansing, and I feel like I can't go on, I remember the words you say to me all the time. And I just want to tell you, thank you.
Thank you so much. This is heartfelt. You said it all. And I want you to know that we all have a short period of time that we serve in this world. But when we're gone, our story will be the Brenda Carters. The stories will be the Keons. The story will be as all of these amazing people we honored. That's our story and that's our legacy. Thank you so much. We do put a lot into this. So to take a moment and recognize all of these amazing trailblazers. Judge, you know, I've seen you and do the work, and she's absolutely right. The judge will show up in the room. She's not running to try to get you to recognize her. She's there to do the work. And the pastors and all that you do. But Brenda Carter, I saw your amazing leadership on school board. Your passion for our children will never, ever leave me, because for all the educators who are recognized, even though you're retired, what you invested in these children are still, the fruit of your labor is still being manifest. So thank you all. Pontiac, you're a little small city with a great big heart. I love you all. Thank you so much.
And Congresswoman, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you the name of the award, because you said the name several times. The award from the Ascend Foundation, the Pontiac ACES Foundation, and myself, we are presenting you with the Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm Impact Award. Congratulations.
Oh, that is so special. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I call a dynamic evening, you know, and it's such an honor just to be able to go ahead and bear witness to all of this greatness, all the people that I've looked up to and have admired for so many years. And now I get a chance to go ahead and sit over here and reap some of the benefits of their labor, and also take on the responsibility and duty for us to go ahead and carry on the mantle. But with that being said, I heard a multitude of you mention how important it is for us to pass this down to the youth of Pontiac, to our kids, our next generation, our generation, I think they call it Generation Y, if I'm correct. But with that being said, we had to invite one of the baddest speakers you can possibly find in that generation. And it's a Pontiac product, and this young lady is about as exceptional as it gets. And it is with the highest of privilege and honor, I get a chance to introduce to you one of our leaders in a Sin Truth Youth Coalition is none other than Miss Lauren McNair. Put your hands together, please.
I would like to start out by thanking everyone so much for the opportunity to be a part of a program that's so powerful, a program that talks about our Pontiac history and heritage. To understand our historical value is priceless, and in my opinion, we're detached from that. I don't think we truly understand the lineage that we come from. We've endured through the hardest of times, but it was these hard times that called together many powerful leaders. Leaders like the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the legendary Malcolm X, Diane Nash, the incomparable Dorothy Height, Medgar Evers, the seismic Ashada Shakur, and Fannie Lou Hamer, just to name a few. And many powerful organizations were born in this time, such as the SCLC, Southern Christian Leadership Conference, and SNCC, Southern Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, as well as the Freedom Riders, which were kids my age. When they tried to peacefully protest, they were brutally beaten with chains and whips and bats, but they didn't stop and they didn't give up. In 1896, we had historical landmark court cases like Plessy versus Ferguson to end Jim Crow. And in 1954, we had Brown versus the Board of Education to get rid of segregation in schools and give African Americans a right to equal education. But even after all these great men and women sacrificed so much for us and gave their lives, when you look around at 2021, you'll see that a lot still hasn't changed. When I look at an age, I'm scared of how others might view me just because of the color of my skin. But I'm proud of who I am, and I wouldn't change a thing about myself because we come from greatness. Thank you,
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for this young dynamo, Miss Lauren McNair. Y'all, it has been truly a privilege and honor of being able to go ahead and have this program, and I would be remiss if I didn't go ahead and reiterate the importance of we got HBO Maxi right over here next to me, and I also got, a woman who's trailblazing all kinds of pathways for other young women to go ahead and hit Lansing. Is none other than House of Representative Brenda Carter. This program does not, will not, and would not have happened without them putting it all on the line to make sure that we were going to go ahead and be able to put it together to this depth. And also, too, I got to give a huge shout out to the man himself who engineered this, Mr. Sante Lucas, for him to make the type of adjustment that he made tonight, where with Facebook trying to throw monkey wrenches in our program. That's what it's about. That's true professionalism. And once again, you came through, Sante, with F&G Media. If you're looking for somebody to go ahead and possibly put a show, put something in place, that's the one you want to go to. With all that being said, everybody in Facebook land and YouTube land, we want to go ahead and say thank you for taking time out of your day. To all of our legends, thank you for allowing us to have the honor of having you recognized for a multitude of years of service that you've given so selflessly of yourself. And also, too, and all the everybody out there in Facebook land and YouTube land, thank you for tuning in. These are people that touched so many of our lives. And the best way for us to show that respect and love and admiration is for us to go ahead and show up and bear witness to what took place this evening. So I thank you all. With that being the case, everyone have a safe, prosperous evening. Enjoy yourself, and thank everybody. And I look forward to seeing you all soon.
Kano, is one thing really must be said before we go. Listen.
You know what? Mrs. King, you hear this? You hear this is mute me. Hey, Mrs. Sykes, I call that betrayal. All right, we gonna go ahead and give credit to Pontiac Central, but Pontiac Northern for life. So everybody,
I hear it, but I don't understand it.
Let's talk to him, Mrs. King. Talk to him.
I was plotting on that, Quincy.
I knew it was coming. Hey, Quincy, that's why I was trying to get off of here fast. So,
Hey, I don't know why Miss King turned on me. I'm an old Newmanite, so I don't know why.
so hey, because you know she don't play. You know she don't play, and she got you.
I see that.
Hey, everybody have a beautiful evening, and thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless.
Hatchet, please thank you so much for stepping in and doing what you did. You know, this would not have been right if we didn't have you go ahead and blessing it. So thank you, ma'am. That being said, I'm gonna be quiet so I can let everybody get off of here. You stop being long-winded. Take care, everybody.
You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like life, I'll rise.
I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war, that the bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality.
We declare our right on this earth to be a man, to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary.
Soul has no color, no shape, no form. You have the power to change perception, to inspire and empower, and to show people how to embrace their complications and see the flaws and the true beauty and strength that's inside all of us.
That's right. I have wrestled with an alligator. I done tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail. Only last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick.
Change will not come if we wait for some other person or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for.
For those who marched, and for those who prayed, and for those who sang and bled, and for those who believed, and for those who died, I stand as 10,000 to the 10th power.